Hello everybody and welcome back to G-Bear's Off-Grid Ways. And what you're looking at here is my preliminary sketch of the new guest cabin. And you're going, wow, that's pretty nice for a guest cabin. Well, yeah, that's probably because I'm going to be building it out of cinder block 8/16s, and they'll be filled, so it'll be a really well insulated unit. And what I'm thinking of is that if it gets to a point where it's no longer needed for a guest cabin, then I'll switch. I'll move into this one, and the one I'm living in will become the guest cabin. So that's my plan, and I'm going to stick to it. So let's get on with this. Winds are back up again, as you can see. Temperatures were nice. It was not in the mid 90s today. So I actually went outside and did some manual labor. Right, Manny? You know Manny, manual labor? No, he's not related to Jim Neighbor. Anyway, I'm going to take you over and show you what I did. I'm moving a little slow here because I got my new tire tread flip-flops on and getting used to them. So I got my windproof mic on too because of the winds out here. But I got this all graded today. Yep, you can see where I went with the grader to make circles up there. And then I went down that way to make circles to come back this way. So anyway, this is where the new cabin is going, right here. So the way it's laying it out is the back of the cabin is going to be that way, where the wind is coming from right now. Actually, the back corner on the cabin right there will be coming from the main direction of the wind. So the cabin splits it, just like my cabin does now. So it will be 15 feet across this way, and then it'll be 20 feet across that way. And there will be a back door going out of the bedroom up back there. As you looked at the drawing, you can see that the bedroom is going to be there with a nice queen-size bed in it. And then the bathroom will be back here on this side. Then right now we're standing in what will be the kitchen, and there'll be a window on this side right by the sink, and then cabinets across that interior wall there, refrigerator right over there, and sink here by the window, and then range top and oven over here. And then another little cabinet in the corner here, and then a window in this wall, a window right above the sink. So I got windows all the way around so I can get a good cross draft in here. Now the propane tank will sit right here on this corner outside the cabin, and I've got my tanks inside of that unit, but that one extra tank will end up coming over to the guest cabin. And I don't think I'm going to put it inside of a shed, but I'll just put a little overhang roof mounted on the side of the cabin, and I'll put that under it, and then it'll have a chain to chain it up against the cabin, so if the winds get wacky, it doesn't blow it over and break lines or anything like that. All right, so over here, this will be where the front door is, right about where that mound is. So the front door will be here. It'll be a nice big 36-inch front door that'll swing in this way towards the kitchen. This will be the living room over here. So the living room's going to be 7.5 by 12.5. So that's a pretty good sized living room. And I'm thinking about putting a sofa bed right here against the front wall that opens out this way, because the wall that goes in between the living room and the bedroom will be the TV wall, and it'll have a couple of little stands there for electronics and whatever. So that's where my second homemade antenna comes in. It'll be going on this cabin and facing just like mine is up there. So they should get about just under 40 channels. For a guest cabin, that's plenty, right? Nobody stays up all night long watching TV when they're on vacation. So anyway, that's what I've got planned so far. So the next step is right here. This is the water. The short one is the water inlet coming from the water tank, and the long one is the water outlet going to the cabin. So I'll be digging down right there and getting ready to tap in with a T in that line about a foot below the surface, and then I'll come over and I'll tap right into the kitchen area, and that'll run through the kitchen wall out back to the bathroom. That'll be an easy water run, and I should have all the pipe I need for it here. I just need a few of the shark bite fittings to finish that off. All right, so also just inside that wall there's electricity, and I was just going to tap into that and come out here with just a couple of electrical outlets. But I think what I'm going to do is in this container, halfway down the wall is my sub panel, and it's a 60 amp sub panel. So I'm thinking about coming off of that with a heavy wire right to the back of the unit here, and come out through conduit and go underground, and I'll come in right to this corner in the kitchen. On the wall I'll put another sub panel, and that will be a 30 amp panel. So on that 30 amp panel I'll have a couple of 20 amp breakers to run things like the refrigerator and the coffee maker. Well, you know, I may not do a coffee maker. You can put a coffee pot on the stove. I'll do the refrigerator and other electricity like TV and that stuff on a second breaker. So there'll be two 20 amp breakers. Maybe I'll do a third 20 amp breaker for the stove all by itself, except I can probably put a blender or something right beside it. And then I'll modify or come to a conclusion on that as I'm doing it. And then my sewer lines are right about where that tank is, and they're buried under the ground right there. Now I did have a 2-inch line that I brought back. I think it comes all the way back to about right here. And I had it marked at one time with a standpipe, because I was going to tie this shower in to it and put a drain in it for the outdoor shower, so that instead of the water just soaking into the ground, it ran down the piping to my gray water pit, which keeps the ground moist down there by my garden house. But right about there, between that tank and the hand truck, is where the 4-inch sewer line is, and that's a gray water only sewer unit. So this unit will have its own outdoor outhouse, probably right about where that Y comes together. I'll put it quite a ways away from the cabin, and you'll just have to come out the front door or the back door and just go to the outhouse for your number 2s. And number 1s can go in the indoor toilet, but just no toilet paper down the drain, because that ends up clogging things up. All right, so that's what I've got planned, and that's what I've been doing. So my next step here on the next nice day like I had today will be to trench out the perimeter for where the base block is going in, which is actually going to be like the foundation. And this is going to be a concrete slab floor, not a raised wood floor like I did in that cabin, because I ended up having a problem with critters getting under the cabin, and I don't want that. So everything, all the lines that are going to go in, like the plumbing lines, electrical, all that, have to go in before I pour the slab. And then this is going to be an 8-inch by 8-inch by 16-inch cinder block wall, so it's going to be really a solid unit. And it shouldn't have hardly any noise coming through, and only the bottom row of block will be filled with concrete. After that, every course that's going up will be filled with just regular desert dirt. And what that'll do is give me that little extra insulation, almost like a sandbag house, but it'll be the cinder block. It'll give me a little extra insulation for against losing heat in the winter, and or gaining heat in the summer when the sun beats on it. So I think on this one, I'm going to do a gable roof, which is a peaked roof. And it doesn't have to be peaked too steep because we don't get a lot of snow here. So it'll be a fairly shallow peak. And then down the line, if I want to completely separate it from that cabin, I can add solar, its own solar system onto this cabin. Just by adding an extra battery room out here on the side. No big deal. So anyway, that's my plan, everybody. What do you think? Leave me some comments and questions below. And for those of you who know who you are, who put snide remarks and negative statements in my comments, if I don't answer you, you know why. Because I don't need people like that in my life. Negative people don't fit me right. I don't like them. They make everything negative. So go bother somebody else. Troll somebody else's channel. You got nothing better to do with your life? That's sad. This is G Bear signing off.